Is it possible to create an online business and make money in just 40 minutes? Meet Don. Don is a broke teacher who is hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical debt, and he is struggling to make ends meet. And so I decided to issue myself a challenge. Bring Don on, create an entire business and offer, and attempt to sell it and make the first few sales in just 40 minutes. Could I do it? Let's find out.
I'm Don Varda. I'm 57 years old. I'm a high school teacher, and I'm broke.
All right, Don, so tell me, what is your situation? Why are you broke, and what happens if you don't fix this?
I'm in a horrible situation. It's really eating me away when I wake up in the morning because I know that there's no chance of me paying off $127,000 of debt. I've paid that debt down for years, but I have no shot, dude. I have no chance.
Got it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then I am going to come up with a business for you right here, right now. And then I am going to come up with a pitch for that business and that offer, and I'm going to see if we can sell any. How does that sound?
Sounds great, man.
Tell me, why are you $100 and some odd thousand in debt? How did that happen?
It really happened when I started out. I had a business. I graduated from college, and I worked at a job, and I was getting nowhere. I wasn't making any money, and it took me about 2 years to wake up and go, you know what, I got to start my own business, and I did. So things were going pretty good. I was married. We had a nice house. Things were going well, and then my daughter had a traumatic brain injury, and she was flown on helicopter. We spent 2 months in Chicago with her. She survived. But Dan, the first week she was in that hospital, I had my own company, with my own insurance. I got a bill for $229,000. And I couldn't pay that bill. I wasn't even, close. I had to stop doing the business and go back and get a job that had insurance, that had medical health insurance, where we could pay for her care and provide her care. That event shifted my life.
So what you're telling me is that you did what you were supposed to do. You started a business, you pursued the American dream, and then America took a big fat shit on you.
Yes, sir. An elephant walked into my room and crushed me, dude.
Yes. $200 and something thousand for medical care, which is absurd. We're one of the, if not the only country that does that, your money or your life. And I imagine there's some interest on these medical bills.
Oh, it was brutal. Dan, that was just like the first week, the $229,000 bill. I mean, she was in the hospital for 2 months. She was in a plastic room on the end of the walkway, and you walk by all these other kids that have horrible conditions. They didn't know what was wrong with her. She was in this plastic walled room, and she was in there for 2 months, dude. I was staying at a Ronald McDonald's house for $5 a night. And then we actually ended up sleeping in her room with her because we started to notice, like, the residents and stuff were just using her as like a guinea pig. Hey, let's do this test. Hey, let's do another spinal tap. And my wife and I slept in the room in front of her bed so they couldn't get to her. And I refused all of it. I was so upset, dude. I was already crushed, but I didn't need them coming in at 3 a.m. to do a spinal tap on my 13-month-old daughter.
Would you say that the brochure you were fed, the one that has a big headline at the top that says American Dream, you think that you were oversold?
I mean, I tried, Dan. I tried, just like you said, dude. I just got...
Yeah. No, I listen, I agree. This is all a game. And the people at the top, the people that make billions from this, they set the rules for the game. And they intentionally make sure that you don't learn the rules, because if you don't learn the rules, you don't know how to play the game, you can't win the game. And this is why hundreds and hundreds of years ago, wealthy families would keep the people poor, and they did it with one way. They restricted the access to knowledge about money so that when things happened, they couldn't win. And so only that family could win. And it still happens today. And that's why I do what I do. I learn the rules of the game, and I'm able to win the game, and I like to teach that to others. So what I want to do is I want to help you win this game and beat this. And it does not sound like this was your fault at all. You did everything you were supposed to do, and America failed you. That's what it's not. The system failed you. And so right now, we're going to work the system. So in an email exchange we had before this, you mentioned that you did some video production and you made some good money there, but you mentioned something else. You are a teacher, and I asked you if you knew any cool stuff that would help students that's abnormal, and you mentioned to me that you have helped students save on college tuition. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
It was actually something we learned through our own kids and then our students in the school. These were students that had really good grades in high school. They didn't have the money to go to college. They could not afford to even go to a state college like, Purdue or Indiana or Northwestern, Ohio State, just a state college. And what we did was we found them ways to get scholarships, and we found them ways to get need-based award scholarships. So a person who comes from a lower to middle class family, they don't have a lot of money, they then get opportunity to get a scholarship to go to a bigger college or even go to an Ivy League, Harvard, Yale, Duke, Dartmouth, the bigger college, to even get into those colleges based on the fact that they didn't have any money to do that. And we helped kids do that.
So I'm clear, if I'm a parent and I have a kid that is smart, but I don't have a lot of money, you can help me get that kid into a decent college and get most of the tuition paid for.
That's absolutely correct and accurate. That's exactly right.
Can you give me an example of a child that you helped get into a college and how much money you saved?
I can give you two of them. I just had a girl, I coach tennis. I just had a girl on my tennis team last year. She got straight A's at our high school. She had no way to go to college. She's a nice kid. Her parents are divorced. Her dad lives in St. Louis. She's a nice kid. We got her into Purdue University, which is a state school in Indiana, on a full ride. The amount to go to Purdue right now is about $23,000 a year. Okay. So for 4 years, that's, $92,000 or whatever it is. It's 23,000 times 4. She got a full ride. She doesn't have to pay a dime. Another kid that we did it with went to a major private school again, and had a need-based situation, smart, straight A'd their high school, did it all. Their school, Dan, was $70,000 a year, 70,000 times 4, 280. When he graduated from that school, he ended up owing only $31,000.
Wow. So you saved, that's like 80-something%, right?
That's 80+%.
So let me ask you this. You have the ability to, and I'm just thinking in terms of a business and offers, market parents who have smart kids, but they don't have a ton of money. They're not probably dead broke, but they have, because they still have to obviously pay for something, but they can't send their kids to like their kids' dream college.
Absolutely.
And so would you say that you can help those people?
Oh, there's no question about it.
That's called a market. Your business, any offer that you make is simply a solution to a problem that a given market has. If the market is parents that have smart kids, but they don't have a lot of money to send them to their dream school, then the problem that they have is that they don't know how to get their kids into their dream school and get most, if not all, of their dream school paid for. And they would love to be able to do that. And that's valuable, man. Like, how much you get paid as a teacher?
I get about $60,000 a year. I also coach and I do other things. So I'm getting like $52,000, and then I get about $8,000 in coaching stipends and video production stipends.
So you make about $5,000 a month from your teaching job?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. If you were to make, say, $10,000 a month from a business, would that help out dramatically?
Absolutely. Would change everything for me.
And you wouldn't have to work your job, so you could work on your business more and turn that 10 into maybe 15, 20, 25, et cetera, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Are you positive that if I said, Don, my kid is, what age group would the kid have to be to
a high school graduate,
okay,
someone who's going to be, a senior that wants to go to college. I mean, sometimes juniors apply. It could be a junior or a senior that they want to go to college.
Okay. So I have a high school senior or junior. I have a kid who's in high school who wants to go to college. Okay. And could somebody who's a freshman still buy this and prepare for it?
Absolutely.
Okay. So here's what I would do. Here's the offer I would create. I would create an offer where the market would be parents with high school kids. And let me ask you this, Don. Let's say I told you I had a kid who's in high school. He's a senior. and I say, I want to get him a full ride to Purdue or wherever, just some good school, and I'm no shot of that on my own. You obviously know something about this process that most people don't know, and you could assist with that, correct?
That is correct.
If I said, Don, will you meet with me once a week for an hour or two on a Zoom call for 6 weeks, in that time period, could you show me everything I would need to know to get my kid that scholarship or that assistance and get him into that college and make sure that I did the process right?
Absolutely. I would show you exactly what we would do, what you would need to do. And I would also give you even more than just that. You know, we help these kids with their admissions interview. These kids go in front of a board, right? And they get asked questions, and we help them with how to answer those questions and actually get through it and actually get accepted to the college. So there's the part of them getting that scholarship, but they have to go through some other steps as well.
And you coach the kids on exactly what to say during these interviews.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Do you think a parent who saves $200,000 in college tuition would be willing to give you like 5% of that savings if you worked with them throughout the process?
I would. I think that's very fair. That's $10,000. I mean, that is, you know, if you came to me and said, hey, you can get this thing for $200,000 if you'll pay me $10,000, I'm doing it.
So I have an idea for a business for you. And I'm wondering, before I say this, before I'm about to tell you exactly how to structure the business, and then I'm going to give you a pitch, okay? Here's what I want to know. Why haven't you done this before?
Because I don't know how to reach. I don't know how to reach the parents. I mean, this is, you know, my audience is an 18-year-old who wants to go to school, but it's his
No,
parents.
your audience is the parent.
Yeah. I wouldn't know the first way to even how to reach these parents.
Hold on a second. You're in Get Clients University, right?
Yeah. I just got in it like 2 months ago.
Okay, because there's all kinds of stuff in there. I'm going to give you a plan right now, but there's all kinds of stuff in there on how to promote, get traffic, Instagram, Facebook ads, all that. My question to you is, how come you haven't taken the first step on creating an offer around this? Because as soon as you said that to me in the email and on this call, the first thing I thought of was, that's a great offer. What parent wouldn't want to save hundreds of thousands of dollars on college tuition for their kid and get them into a school that without your help, they may never have had a shot to get into? Like, why haven't you already created an offer around that?
I mean, the best answer I can give you is I wrote a bestseller, okay, on tennis. I wrote a best-selling book. It became a bestseller by accident. And then I thought, for a business, that I could create a course on how to write a bestseller and turn that into a business, because I have written a bestseller. So the answer to your question is, I actually spent a lot of time developing that course. And I mean, I could hold up a stack of papers, you know, this thick, of 30 pages where I developed that course. So I was developing that course.
Right now or recently or?
Yeah, I mean, within the past 6 months.
So in 6 months, how come you haven't taken action in try to sell it?
I tried to do some Facebook ads. They bombed. Dan, I feel like this, okay? I feel like if I get face-to-face with a client, I can sell, you know, the product. But I don't know how to get clients. I don't know. A business has an incoming flow of traffic. I have no traffic, no email list. I don't know how to do that.
Let me tell you this. There's always a way to get clients, but what you sell and who you are to what you sell will determine how easy it is. Yes, you could absolutely sell a course on how to sell a best-selling book, but how many best-selling books have you written?
I've written one.
How many kids have you helped with their college tuition?
4.
And how many have you attempted to help?
4.
So you're 4 out of 4 for that.
4 out of 4, 100%.
You work with kids every day in school, in high
Yes.
school. Okay,
Yes.
so which one do you think you're more qualified and your backstory and your brand is more in line with? Selling a best-selling book or this?
Yeah, I think it's the college tuition.
It's the
one
college
for sure.
tuition. Absolutely. It's going to be way easier for you to sell because you know it, you are it, everything about you this is your brand. I want to
Yes.
help kids get the education that they normally would not have an opportunity to get. That's
Yes.
you. Okay, so here's how you're going to structure this business. And then I'll give you the pitch. Real quick, before I do that though, do you have an idea for a pitch? Like, how would you pitch this to me?
I would kind of pitch it with the last sentence you just said, somewhere along that line. Like, do you want to help your college senior go to a college and absolutely change their life, but you can't afford it. Now you can.
That's a great first sentence. That's not bad. That's a lot better than most of the people I bring on here. That's pretty good. Okay, so let's do this. Here's how I would structure this offer. Then I'll give you the pitch. So first of all, what I would do is I would charge an upfront fee. I would create a education program, short training videos for them to watch to get them up to speed on what they need to do, the process, what the process looks like, the timeline, all that. And then I would give them X amount of weeks of coaching. Let's just say 6 or 8 or whatever, where every week you hopped on a group call, you checked in with them, and you helped them through the process. Or maybe it's longer than 8 weeks, whatever. They pay an initial fee of, let's just say $500. Because you're going to have some people that buy this and they're going to not do it, just like anything. There will be people that buy it, they get busy, and they just decide they're not going to do it, or maybe they go through a divorce, and it becomes about the divorce, or maybe they decide to move to Timbuktu and, live in whatever, right? So you want to charge that upfront fee, not just to cover your time, but make sure that they're serious and they've paid for it, so they take it serious. You charge something like $497 upfront for the coaching. Then you have them sign a contract that says basically you're going to work with them until they get into their college, and you're going to help them save money. And whatever that amount of money is, you're going to get, say, 5%. So if you help them save $200,000 times 0.05, you're going to make 10 grand. How would you like it if you made 10 grand every time you help some kid get into college?
Oh, I would love it, man. I would love it.
You would do something you love, you would do something you're passionate about, you'd help the world in your way, and those 4 kids you helped get in, you could have made 40 grand. Do you think parents would be willing to pay you that fee if you actually delivered for them?
I do. My kids went to college. I'd be willing to pay it. I think it's fantastic.
Here's would essentially be my pitch. Is your kid in high school and he's incredibly smart, and if you had the money, he could go to whatever college he wanted, and he could begin life on the right foot. He could get the training, the community, and the education that they deserve. But when you start hearing words like Purdue and, insert college name, you think, boy, it would be amazing if my son or daughter could get accepted into Purdue, but I don't have the money. My name's Don, and I help parents secure massive scholarships and reduce college tuition by up to 87% for their kids. And I can help you too. The truth is this: there are rules to the game of college. There are ways to absolutely use the system for your benefit and get massive, massive amounts of discounts on your college tuition. For instance, I helped so-and-so save $215,000 on their college tuition. And the truth is that most people simply don't know that these programs exist. They don't know the process. And then, even if they did know the process, they don't know how complicated it is to secure these massive scholarships and these massive grants. And even when they do realize how to fill out these complicated forms and navigate through the process, they also realize that their kid has to attend an interview and has to convince someone on a board to give them that, even after going through all this. And this is a long and strenuous process that most parents don't have the time to know how or the ability to do. And that's where I come in. I teach you exactly how to find these programs, exactly how to apply for them, exactly what to say, exactly how to go through the process. And not only that, I stick with you through the entire process. And I coach your child on exactly what to say to convince these board members to give them that scholarship. And believe it or not, it is a framework. Much like every Hollywood movie you see follows a very specific framework, much like every hit song, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus. It's all the same framework. There is a framework for exactly what to say to get these massive scholarships. And the truth is, most people just don't know it. And what I'm here to do is not only allow you easier access to this, but help you navigate the waters to it, coach you, and secure that massive scholarship. And on top of it, how to get into the actual college that your child wants. If your child wants to go to Purdue, I will work with you to help them get into the college they want to get. I will work with you to help massively reduce their college bill. Now, let me ask you a question. What would your child's life look like in 10 years if they went to a dream college? And what would their life look like if they didn't get to go at all, or they went to some community college because that's all you can afford? I want you to take the difference between those two scenarios for your child. And I want to ask you a question. Is it worth getting on a 15-minute call with me to see if we can remove that gap, to see if we can make the first scenario happen for you, for your family, for your child, and your child's family? Because if you don't think that's going to impact their future and how they grow their family and the opportunities they have, you already know it. If your child's future is worth 15 minutes of your time, I want you to click the button below. It's an absolutely free call. I'll take a look at where your kid's going to high school, what their grades are, what their current situation is, and I'll tell you what opportunities are available to you. And then, if you want my help, I charge a nominal setup fee and a percentage of what you save. So you don't even have to pay a substantial amount of money unless I save you an enormous amount of money. It is a win-win for everyone, and I want your child to win. Click the button below to book a call. Now, that is how I would do it normally. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But here's what we're going to do. First of all, do you like that pitch?
I loved it. And it actually opened my mind to other things that are involved, like what you write on the application. There's a whole thing, you reminded me of other things that are involved that they have to do right.
Right. Okay. And I just kind of know on your talk. So here's what I'm going to do. One thing I know about business owners is, and just people in general, the biggest thing that will shift your success is belief. For instance, Don, what would you do if you knew you could not fail?
I would do everything.
You would do everything, right? Let me ask you this. Think of some specific things you would do if you knew you could not fail.
I'd like to film a movie that's in every theater. I'd like to write and film and produce a movie.
Maybe start this business that you were tinkering with for 6 months. A lot of that is a lack of confidence, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So if you knew you could not fail, you would do it. How long have you been procrastinating that? It sounds like 6 months, right?
Oh, yeah, I have. I'm guilty of that.
Okay, so what's the difference between you doing it and you not doing it for 6 months? You just said it. It's belief. If you knew you could not fail, you would have done it, right?
Right.
So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to see if this will work, and I'm going to see if this will inspire you to work. So here's what I've done. Let me ask you this. Are you willing to create a minimum viable product version of this, a beta version? And are you willing to offer 6 weeks of coaching just to work with some people, just to see if you can do this, figure it out so that you can create that educational program, so that you can get your bearings? Are you willing to offer 6 weeks of coaching for this for $47? If somebody buys the $47, you work with them for 6 weeks, and then if they actually save money on the college tuition, then you can even charge them a discount, 2.5% instead of 5%, something like that. Are you willing to do that simply to get started, to make a little bit of money now, to prove to yourself that it's something people will buy and get your bearings? Are you willing to make that offer?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what I've done. I have created before this call, can you see this, Don?
Yeah.
I bought the domain cuttuition.com, and I created this page because I already knew what your offer was going to be. I could already see it. Save up to 87% on college tuition and get into the school of your dreams. Cut Tuition Now is a 6-week program. Purchase early access to Don's program, Cut Tuition Now, and get 6 weeks of coaching where Don will work with you live to cut you or your kids' college tuition and get into the school of your dreams for just $47. Now, let's do this. Let's just charge $47. Forget the percentage, just so that you can practice.
Okay.
Let's just charge $47, all right? Okay. And here's what I would do, Don. I would take the script I gave you. I would take the pitch, I'd put it on this page as a video, and I'd get them to book a call, and then I would go out and I would make tons of polarizing Instagram reels And you could start a podcast. We can talk about different traffic methods, but I'd find a way to talk about this subject, and it is a hot subject. I would go and I'd get interviewed on podcasts for homeschoolers and kids. There's a ton of podcasts out there for children and college and raising kids. Go get interviewed on there. Talk about this. Talk about how they don't know these programs exist. Talk about what you have to do to convince them. And then you send them, hey, if you want more info, go to cuttuition.com. Okay? So people in GCU, if you think it's worth $47 to give this a shot, go to cuttuition.com right now. And here's what I'm going to do. Everybody that buys right now, I am going to send you the money directly. I'm going to process it because I know you don't have this set up, and I'm going to send you the money directly. So we already had one sale, Don. Just saw a sale come in. You already got a sale. You're $47 richer. I know it's not a lot.
Oh, it's awesome.
But do you see what I'm saying? Like, people are willing to pay for this. If someone is willing to pay $47, they're going to be willing to pay $470. They're going to be willing. It's just all about refining it, getting more testimonials, getting more results, and crafting the pitch. Okay, boom, we got a first sale. 2, we just got a second sale. Don, we got a second sale. That is a second sale. Just came in. Second sale. I bet you people are putting their cards right now. Do you see how easy this is?
Yeah.
Like, what is an alarming stat from colleges? Do you know any alarming stats in terms of college tuition?
I mean, the only thing that I know, and I don't have the stat, is just how much it increases. It's going up exponentially every year. It's not going down. It's going up and up and up.
I just Googled, what is the expected cost of college in 2030? And I came across an article that said in 2030, working your way through college would require an average of 60 plus hours a week at the current minimum wage. So think about that. You could bring this up on your phone, do an Instagram reel, and literally say, by 2030, in order to work your way through college, you would need to work 60 hours a week at the current minimum wage. And that leaves no money for food, for room, for board, none of that. That's just tuition. Believe it or not, it is getting harder and harder for people to go to college. But little did you know, there are programs, there are ways to reduce the cost of college by up to even 87%. If you would like to learn about these programs and get a short video explaining how to get access to them, DM me the word tuition and I'll send you the video, right? Boom. There's one reel you could do. You could just sit down. If you're not working at your job, you could sit down and you could come up with dozens and dozens and dozens of pieces of content like this. And this content, I guarantee you a lot of it would go viral on Instagram. You would be able to talk about this and go on podcasts, cite these things, and really paint the picture of how hard it's going to be to pay for college, okay? And I truly believe you will get a lot of business for this. And look, the money you're going to make is when you actually get people these scholarships. Because if you get 10 grand, 8 grand, 12 grand, depending on how much you save them, that's going to really start to add up quick. Four sales. A fourth sale just came in. 4 sales. Don, you made $188 in the last 50 minutes.
That's awesome.
And you're going to be able to do this for people so that you can develop a program. Do you think if you coach these people for 6 weeks, you'll know exactly what to put in a program, you'll know better how to market it, how to create content for it?
Yeah, and we'll make it better and better. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and this is what you have to do, man. You have to just start. You have to just throw up a page and do it. So here's what I'm going to do, Don. Not only am I going to send you all of this money today and any more money that comes in as we're talking, but I am going, do you have a GoDaddy account?
I do not.
You can create one because I'm going to send you the domain cuttuition.com. It's my gift to you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the domain cuttuition.com. I'm going to give you this funnel, okay? And I'm even going to put, I'll make a calendar for it. I'll make it a proper book a call funnel, okay? You'll get this page right here. And as well, see right here, look, you got 5 sales, $235 you just made. 5 sales, boom, okay? Let me zoom in on this so you can see it. Right there.
Yeah.
Bam. Okay. I'm going to give you this whole system, and I'm going to give you our software deal engine, which has everything you need. It has funnels, it has websites, it has email marketing, it has all that. That way you can save money on all this. And you said, sir, that you were in GCU, right? You're in my membership site, GCU.
I am.
I'm going to give you a year free of that.
Wow.
So I'm going to give you a year free of that, and I'm going to give you a year free of Deal Engine, which is $297 a month. So you're going to save $400 a month on what you would normally have to pay in business expenses, because I want to give you a head start. Because, sir, you are an educator, and I admire you for what you do for children, but the system has failed you. And not only do I want to teach you the rules of the game so you can win the game, but I want to give you some cheat codes and allow you to level up and get a head start, because they brought you down. I want you to have a head start. I want you to have a head start because you deserve it, sir. And it's not fair how things work. It's not fair how America treats its citizens. And I say that because, whether you were born here or you come here, you are told this is the land of opportunity. But as soon as you seize that opportunity, the system works against you in every turn to take it away from you. And then even if you fight through and you actually succeed, then they demonize you for succeeding. Well, I say, screw that. We're going to do it differently. And being an entrepreneur is absolutely the way to do it differently and win the game.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, and all the members of your group here, that have come to this, and helped me out. I greatly appreciate it, Dan. I really appreciate it, man.
Don, email me back in 30 days and tell me how this is going.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Okay.